Yes, it's right, folks. Pokemon has turned 30 today. The revolutionary video game series started in Japan in 1996, and today, on Pokemon Day, it has turned 30 years old. Pokemon began its global conquest in 1996 and slowly made its way worldwide. We here in the United States didn't get Pokemon until 1998. And what made Pokemon so special? I think at the beginning it was an accessible RPG that people could easily wrap their heads around. I think what ultimately made Pokemon so popular is that it was a collectible thing. The monsters were cool looking. They had this really great personality about them. And when Pokemon came over to the United States, it paired perfectly. The anime first premiered in early September of 1998 here in the United States, and I remember watching it every day before school. It became like our water cooler show. We would watch Pokemon in the morning, take the bus to school, and when we get to school, we talk about what happened in Pokemon that morning, and we were all obsessed before the game even released here. 20 days after Pokemon debuts on TV as an anime, it is released on the Game Boy, and while a lot of folks maybe didn't have a Game Boy anymore because the console itself was almost 10 years old at this time, some folks might have still had a Game Boy lying around, and I think that's ultimately what made Pokemon a success. It was accessible. That is so important because so many Game Boys were out in the wild, and when Pokemon appeared out of nowhere like a wild Pokemon would in the game, you were able to put that game right into your Game Boy and play it. And Nintendo set it up perfectly because later that year, for the holiday season, Game Boy Color released. Ultimately, it became a global phenomenon, spinning off into toys and anime and apparel and obviously Pokemon cards, all of which still are incredibly popular today, and we owe it all to just this simple little fun manga and game that's based around the idea of catching and trading bugs with your friends. There was something magical about playing Pokemon. I got into it when it first came out. I stopped playing for a while because I became a teenager and hated everything, which is just natural, I think. But at the time when Pokemon had come out 30 years ago, or in this case, 28 years ago, it felt like you were in this kind of culture. And yeah, sure, it really leans hard on the collectathon aspects of the game, but what makes it really special is that it felt like you were part of something. We had this shared experience, and sharing and trading is such an integral part of what makes the series great. We know Pokemon's going nowhere, and this is just the first 30 years of its success, but happy 30th to one of the greatest game series of all time.